What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Now, I'm discussing 10 greatest black light heavyweights in boxing history, and I guess you're wondering, why is Ezzaed Charles in this video? Well, I got news for you. For many years, Ezzaed Charles has been rated as the greatest light heavyweight who never won a title. Now, Ezzaed Charles was not a champion. Archie Moore was. Ezzaed Charles and Archie Moore were both middleweights together in 1944, and they would decide to move up to light heavyweight. Well, Archie Moore became the light heavyweight champion in 1952 when he would defeat Joey Maxim. He won that title and held it for 10 years. He was stripped of that title in 1962. Yes, the New York Sack and the NBA would strip Archie Moore. However, Ezzaed Charles would move up to the heavyweight division, and he would challenge Jersey Joe Walcott in 1949 as he was appointed by the former world heavyweight champion, Joe Louis, the opportunity to fight for his crown. He would defeat Jersey Joe Walcott, and he would become the NBA heavyweight champion in 1949. He would establish that title in 1950 when he would defeat Joe Louis in New York's Yankee Stadium. But as a light heavyweight, he was in there with the who's of who of boxing. Oh, what a fighter this man was. The Cincinnati Cobra, Ezzaed Mac Charles, born July 7th, 1921 in Lawrence, Georgia. He died May 28th, 1975 in Chicago, Illinois. He stood 6 foot and had a 73-inch reach as what's been stated on record. Now, his record is 121 total bouts, 95 wins, 52 knockouts, 25 losses, and 1 draw. One of the tragic stories of Ezzaed Charles, he was in a ring with Sammy Baruti in 1948. In the 10th round, he would knock out Sammy Baruti, and Sammy Baruti would not recover. He would go to Cook County Hospital, and he would sit on a bench with his trainer. And he would wait for the results of Sam Baruti, and Sam Baruti would be pronounced dead in the hospital. And this would devastate Ezzaed Charles, because Sam Baruti and Ezzaed Charles were both from Ohio. Those Ohio boys were something else. You had Sam Baruti, Ezzaed Charles, and Jimmy Bivens. But as for Ezzaed Charles, Cincinnati Cobra, Golden Gloves, Ohio District AAU National AAU Championships, March 12, 1940, September 1st, 1959. He was 19 years of age. His first loss, 18th fight in boxing history, was Ken Overland, July 9th, 1941. And Ezzaed Charles, I always state, would graduate from some of the greatest amateur tournaments, and he would turn professional with the greatest fighters of all time: Ray Robinson, Ike Williams, Willie Pep, Jimmy Bivens, and Ezzaed Charles. You also had a man by the name of Cleo Shane. He was a very good fighter. He turned professional in 1940 as well. But Ezzaed Charles was in the ring with Lloyd Marshall, Jimmy Bivens, Joey Maxim, Booker Beckworth, Elmer Violent Ray, Archie Moore, Joey Baskey, Joey Maxim, and Teddy Uroff, Gus Lestovich, and Pat Valentino. He was in the ring with Rex Lane and Nino Valdez, Howard Johnson and Tommy Hurricane Jackson, Charlie Norkus and Paul Andrews, Johnny Holman and Rocky Marciano twice in 1954. He was in the ring with Joe Louis in 1950 and Gus Lestovich, as well as Charlie Burley. He defeated Charlie Burley on 2 separate occasions, and he made a good account of himself when he was a middleweight, and as well as light heavyweight. For that reason, I do have Ezzaed Charles, one of the greatest light heavyweights who would never win a title. And this man could just fight. I mean, he was master at the jab, master at the back foot. He knew how to angle his opponents, pin him in the corner, pin him against the ropes. He knew the 45 straight left hand combination, 1-2 and a 9 gauge. Very strong and competitive fighter. With Ezzaed Charles. He would take on Lee Omer, January 12, 1951. He would defeat him in New York, and he would stop him in 10 rounds. Now, Lee Omer was an opponent of Joe Louis. He would also take on Jimmy Brown, February 6, 1951, and he would defeat him in an exhibition with a second round knockout. May 30th, 1951, he would take on Joey Maxim in Chicago, defeat him in 15 rounds with the title bout. July 18th, 1951, he would take on Jersey Joe Walcott in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He'd be stopped in 7 rounds, and he would lose his World Heavyweight Championship title. And what a knockout that was. Ezzaed Charles would basically do a backward roll as he would try to get to his feet. But what was amazing about Ezzaed Charles, 1949, as I stated, he would become the world heavyweight champion when he would win the vacant NBA title, June 22nd of that year 49, against Jersey Joe Walcott. The fight took place in Chicago, Illinois. It was a 15-round victory for the Cincinnati Cobra, Ezzaed Charles. Oh, what a fighter. What a puncher this man was. Now, in 1943, March 31st to be exact, to be in the ring with Lloyd Marshall, and he was stopped by Lloyd Marshall in 8 rounds. The fight took place in Cleveland, Ohio. January 7th, 1943, he would take on Jimmy Bivens in Cleveland. He would lose in 10 rounds. So that's 2 losses by Ezzaed Charles by Cleveland opponents. And Ezzaed Charles felt like he was the black sheep of Cleveland because he did not get the victories over those 2 men. But he would have the last laugh because he would become the NBA heavyweight championship titles. February 17th, 1947, he found himself in the ring with Oakland Billy Smith in Cincinnati, Ohio. He was stopped in 5 rounds. July 29th, 1946, he'd be in the ring with Lloyd Marshall, Cincinnati, and he would stop Lloyd Marshall this time in 6 rounds. He would also stop a fighter by the name of Sheldon Bell, June 13th, 1946. He fought him in Youngstown, Ohio, and he was stopped in 5 rounds. What a fighter this man was. May 5th, he would be in the ring with Archie Moore in 1947 in Cincinnati, and he would defeat him in 10 rounds. Fitzy Fitzpatrick, Cincinnati, Ohio. He would stop him in 5 rounds on the night of July 14th, 1947. When you look at fighters such as Ezzaed Charles and many other fighters in that Black Murderers Row era, you got to ask yourself a question. Could he punch? Could he box? How was he so successful? Johnny Holman, June 8th, 1955. This was the year that Rocky Marciano would call it quits after he would defeat Archie Moore. He would hang up the gloves officially in 1956, but he would take on Ezzaed Charles the year previous. He would fight Ezzaed Charles twice in 1954. He would fight him June 17th, and Ezzaed Charles would lose in 15 rounds. And then he would fight him again, September 17th in 54. And Ezzaed Charles would be stopped in 8 rounds. What a fight that was. I think that's what hurt Ezzaed Charles. I don't think he should have faced Rocky Marciano, not in that point of his career. Ezzaed Charles wasn't a true heavyweight, but he had the hearts and the dynamite. Punches won. He was an outstanding light heavyweight, an outstanding middleweight. Fighters such as Frank Buford, December 15th, 1952, Boston, Massachusetts. He was stopped in 7 rounds. November 26, 1952, he would defeat Jimmy Bivens in Chicago in 10 rounds. What a fighter. What a man Ezzaed Charles was. That's why I have him ranked top 10 greatest black light heavyweights in boxing history. Hope you enjoyed this video. In my opinion, Ezzaed Charles should be in the top 10 greatest fighters of all times. He's not in my top 10 because of the top 10 that I already currently have. But there's an argument that he could be, and I would not argue. He's definitely in the top 15. So thanks for watching. Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Ezzaed Charles, in my opinion, top 10 greatest light heavyweights as a black fighter of all times. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thanks for watching. Peace. Ezzaed Charles would face Sammy Berluti in 1948. And Sammy Berluti used to come into Stillman's gym saying, "I'm hitting hard today." And he always wanted to face Ezzaed Charles because he fought Ezzaed Charles, but at least he sparred with him many times in Stillman's gym. And these men were from Ohio. And Sam Berluti clearly wanted a shot at the heavyweight championship belt. Ezzaed Charles and Sam Berluti would get it on. The tragic would happen in the 10th round. Ezzaed Charles would hit him with a straight right hand. After a vicious combination, Berluti would go down and he would count himself out. I guess the nerves, you know. He'd be banging on the canvas with the right hand as he was being counted out by the referee. And he would just stop. And before you knew it, he didn't move. And everyone knew there was a problem and they would gurney him up and take him to the hospital. And word would get back to Stillman's gym. And after they found out for sure that Sam Berluti had passed away, they mourned at Stillman's gym. But Ezzaed Charles finally came back to Stillman's gym. They gave Ezzaed Charles a standing 10 count on behalf of Sammy Berluti. Shout out to Ezzaed Charles. What a fighter this man was.